So I've been volunteering, it'll be a year in February. So I'm just a volunteer. I just come for monthly trainings, and then when there's a call that I can make, I show up. Yeah, I work for a financial firm. I do the events and client service.
There's a lot of, I came on at a good point where there's a lot of the old timers still here, still being able to learn from them. I don't know if the right word is like a blessing. I mean, it's cool to be able to toss that down because, I learned from them to keep the chain going, I guess, in a sense. I think it's just very deep rooted. I mean, you form a bond, going to stressful calls, training. You're always with one another, holidays, nights, doesn't matter. We had a makeshift house here right outside of town catch on fire, and the trailer caught on fire. Everything around it caught on fire, and the people were collectors of things, and they had like a hot tub in their house, but we were attacking the fire on the back side of it, and we were trying to get closer to it to knock it down, and we had a couple propane tanks explode and knocked me and the crew back and knocked my helmet off and stuff, and that was fairly early on in my career.
I've been myself to 3 structure fires, been in 2 buildings. Unfortunately, we weren't able to save, but the other ones I've been in, we have been able to.
So, I mean, we were fighting a fire all day, and it was September, and it was really hot, and we got called for mutual aid to Ontario, and we got there, and we had to hike up this really steep hill, and got to the top, my knee popped out, went tumbling down like 20 feet. The ambulance couldn't get to me, so we ended up getting me to the top, and then Life Flight had to land up there and take me to the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the job. I think it's cool that he was out there trying to help people, and there were people there to then help him too, which I think is pretty cool. And he's still out doing it, so. Yeah.
Scenes get out of control. It depends on construction, manpower, your water source. It's just a lot of variables that go into play.
I feel like I've learned a lot from Cody and from Lanning and Paz and just the whole crew, really. I feel like everybody does a good job of teaching me stuff as they go. Like if I'm there, they'll be like, oh yeah, and kind of teach me kind of as we go, especially if it's not a overly stressful situation. So that's been really cool. I feel like the team has really just kind of taken me in and started teaching me stuff. It's been cool. I eventually need to get my EMT, so that's kind of the next step to being able to be here taking a shift, because we get fire calls, but we also get a lot of medical calls too. So you've got to have that medical background to be able to help on those calls. I've done at least one ride along just with some of the firefighters going to a call. So that kind of let me kind of dip my toe in to see if it was something I was interested in. But that would be the next step, is getting the EMT.
So I mean, it goes hand in hand. I mean, we get on a fire and we have someone who inhaled smoke, and we have to help them. And you try to prioritize life over property. And they each have their own dangers. On a medical, we could be going to someone drunk or suicidal. Weapons, fires. I mean, everything's dangerous when it comes to fire.
When that pager goes off in the middle of the night and I'm in a deep sleep, that's rough. That is probably like the most jarring part of the whole thing, honestly. I was like, I could go for a call today. I'm working from home or something. I'm flexible, and it's always going to be when I'm on my way to something or I'm just coming home from something.
Yeah. It never fails. You can have like 4 calls between 1:30 and 6 in the morning, and then work the next day. One of my favorite things is like doing smoke detectors. We do a battery replacement, so we'll go to older people's homes and replace the batteries so they don't have to get on ladders, and seeing them yearly. It's cool. You form a bond with a lot of people.
So my favorite part is just having like this whole new world of things to learn, and it's really stretching me outside my comfort zone, and I find a lot of fulfillment in that. Plus, it's exciting, you're meeting cool people, you're working with good people, and so it's just kind of, like I said, I think that will probably wear off as I've been around longer, but it's something a lot of people don't ever experience, and I think more people should. I think it's, especially the volunteer aspect of it, where it can be flexible and you can be involved in helping the community, especially in a small town like this.
Yeah. People watch Chicago Fire and they assume that that's what we do, or I can't stand watching like medical shows of people doing CPR because it's like minimal effort, and it's nothing like that doing CPR. You'd be sweating. They make it look very easy.
Like, you got to be quick and there's a lot of action, but the movies obviously cut out a lot of the communication that has to happen, the planning, the analyzing the situation to make sure that we're being careful and doing what actually needs to be, not just rushing into the fire, because that's how you get hurt.
It's not for everyone, but yeah, I mean, it makes you feel good about what you do at least.
You kind of don't know until you try. I feel like some people are like, oh, I would never run into a burning building, but there's so much more than that to it as well.